In this video, I'm going to be covering the 3 entrepreneurial contexts required for success with your fitness business. Hi, I'm Mark Fisher. I'm a co-founder of businessunicorns.com. And if you're interested in hearing more about how we help training gym owners create more income, more impact, and more freedom, you'll want to go ahead and check out businessunicorns.com. In today's video, I want to cover context because I think anybody that is a student of behavior change understands that while we all think that we're a special, magical island, in fact, we are all very much influenced by the contexts with which we move in. So I want to offer a framework that I think is important to appreciate when you're unpacking how you're being influenced by the waters that you swim in. The first entrepreneurial context is your attentional, or if you prefer, your intellectual context. When I'm talking about this bucket, I'm talking about broadly the media that you consume. And when I say media, I mean that in the broadest sense of the term. I'm talking books, podcasts, news, social media. This is a very important bucket for you to consider because the reality is you become what you think about most of the time, right? We are what we eat. And I think to the same extent, your brain, your thoughts, your mindsets are largely impacted by what you are consuming. The other 2 contexts matter as well, but because your attentional, your intellectual context is the type of information you are consuming on your own on a regular basis, this type of information, because you're either watching it or reading it or listening to it, it's really going directly into your brain. So I'm not saying you should unplug completely from the world around you. I think there's certain things as a citizen you probably want to know of, but I would just encourage you to be cognizant of how much time you're spending on that and how much of your attentional context is devoted to information that is inspiring, that is uplifting, that is giving you energy, that is giving you information to be more effective. It's really adding value and helping support you in becoming the person you most want to be, who is able to create positive impact in the communities that you feel called to serve. The second entrepreneurial context is your physical context. When I'm talking about this, I'm talking about quite literally the spaces that you are spending time in. Now, admittedly, if you want to make some changes here, it's not as easy as the first one. If you decided, for instance, I don't like my house. Well, if you have a mortgage, it's not quite that simple to move out. I mean, I guess you could. That'd be kind of weird. So I'm not suggesting that. I am suggesting that putting some thought into where are the physical spaces you spend time in and how are they impacting you on an energetic level. Now, listen, everybody is individual here, so I'm not being prescriptive, but I would share that for myself. For instance, I am highly impacted by the physical spaces I'm in. So I've really chosen to invest time, energy, and money in setting up my offices, my library. Whether I'm walking on my treadmill in my office space or my office upstairs, the spaces just make me feel good. They're organized, they're aesthetically pleasing. And for me, I really do think that improves the output of my work. So I would invite you as a training gym owner to think through what are the spaces of your fitness business? What is your home space like? What is your car space like? What is your office like, assuming that you have one, whether they be at home or at the gym? And then importantly, how often do you get some novelty? Do you travel? Do you go to a coffee shop? Do you go on vacation? Certainly a lot of the best work I do as an entrepreneur is when I put myself in a different environmental context, I just think differently. On the one hand, I think if your life is constant chaos and you're always in different environments, it's maybe not ideal. Again, everyone's different, but probably not ideal. But on the other hand, if you are not spicing up your regular environment as much as you might love it, I think there's an opportunity to create different kinds of connections, different kinds of thoughts by spicing up your physical environmental context. And lastly, your third context is your social context. Now, my goodness, it's so cliche, but cliches are often true, that you are the summation of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So I want you to consider there's a few different kinds of social contexts. You have your family social context, your friends, the people you choose to spend time with socially. And that is a very interesting bucket. I really want to highlight for you because your friends, your social community is different because your family community, you've chosen this presumably at some point, right? Particularly if you're an adult and you're married, you have kids. But the reality is at a certain point, that's really rooted. And at a certain point, in ways that are quite positive, you've made commitments that carry with it some obligation. Your social community, your just friends, those are people you don't really have obligation to see. You have to put time and effort into that. So I would invite you to really think through what kind of energetic impact do the individuals you spend your social time with have? What do they talk about? What do they aspire to? What are their values? And how is that impacting who you are and how you're showing up in the world? Now, I'd offer one more bucket of social context, which is the people you work with. And we could further bifurcate. Apparently, bifurcate is my favorite word. You notice I say bifurcate in a lot of videos? You could further bifurcate your work relationships between your team and between your clients. You want to be really cognizant of who it is you're looking to spend time with, right? Because ultimately, these individuals are going to have a real outsized impact on you. Depending on the way you're wired, I think for most people, this third bucket is probably the most influential. And I'm certainly not saying you need to kick people out of your life, but I am suggesting you be a critical, introspective person and get sensitive to how the people you're spending time with are either adding energy, adding good vibes, or are they reductive? Are they making you feel smaller? Are they feeling heavier? Are you feeling more tired? Are you feeling more negative? To my mind, this is why I love groups like the Unicorn Society. Now, the Unicorn Society may or may not be the right fit for you, but what's amazing about it is it's a group of like-minded training gym owners. And by definition of being in that group, you're gonna get access to a lot of media, things like this YouTube, my dear watchers, our podcast, content in the Unicorn University, in the Facebook group. Then secondly, you're gonna have the opportunity to go on retreats and go to really cool places, which again are gonna get you that opportunity to do some lateral thinking, get out of your day-to-day and just maybe make some different connections. And then thirdly, you plug in the social context, the people that share your values, that can really celebrate with you when you're winning, can really be there to nourish you and be present with you when you're struggling with things, which we all do from time to time. And I think that type of all-in-one opportunity to really improve all three of the entrepreneurial contexts, well, call me biased, but I think it's worth its weight in gold. All right, friends, thank you so much. That's all we got for today's video. As always, if you've enjoyed my words and my facial movements, I'd love for you to subscribe, like, and share so that we can get the word out about this channel and more training gym owners can find out about it, and we can have a fitness industry that's even more successful, where people are making more income, more impact, and having more freedom with their training gyms. I'll see you next time for more actionable tips, psychological frameworks, and philosophy.